I don't know if it works with me this morning, but no, 2 before 39. The attitude is to charge of tension. You're doing. I exaggerate, no, but I think we have to communicate. Easy. Let's try.
Okay. What?
Yeah, but easy in the bar. Very good. Bravissima. Bravissima. Brava, brava, brava. Go on.
The same there?
No, it's not exactly the same. Look better.
Yeah. The first bar is the same, right?
Yes, and then?
And then yatatatatat.
No,
Or yatatati.
The telegraphus, ta-ta-ta. No, tell me how much.
So in 41, the first bar of 41 is the same as we did.
4, 2, 3. And then he's in?
Either in 2, 3, and 4, or in 3, 2, and 4. Yatatitati, yeah,
Sing.
3, 2, and 4.
Good. She's good. So it's exactly specular respect, this one. It's a specular bars. 4, pa-pa-pa-pa, 2, titta, ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta, 3, 2, 4.
Okay.
It's not difficult, I mean.
Yeah.
4, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4.
Shall I do directly on it, or?
Yeah, because the difficulty is that here is just the brass. Look also on the score. It's trombones. They are close. They are passing this passage very closely. But then we have the tube, the horns at the distance, then the trombones and the trumpet. So all the member of the brass family is joined. So pa-pa-pa-pa-tita-ta-ta-ta. The horns needs to be an help because it comes from the tuba. And maybe the distance plus the players that play here create a bit of confusion. So my suggestion is to try with this new beat from 41 under tempo. Under tempo. Ta-ta-ti-ta, pa-pa-pa-pa-pa, ti-ta-ta, pa-pa-pa-pa-pi-pa-pa. And especially the trumpet, which starts in the last quartuplet, they have to count. 1, 2, 3, 1, ta-ta-ti-ta. Let's try.
Okay. 41.
Just the brass. Yes. Now it's fine. Let's play another time and musically pass some information. According to the character of the piece and the accent then, musical accent inside. The trombones are too loud, the trumpet are too soft, and they have the last arpeggio, which is very important. The first note of the horns is absolutely too soft. So we have in under tempo to balance the dynamic between the tubas, the horns, the trombones, which was dramatically too loud, and the other members. Let's try.
Okay.
Yes. You like that? You
no.
can say also no, they are not offending. I mean,
I was actually wondering if in the tubas in the beginning, if you can actually make almost like a crescendo, passing it onto the horns, then they won't feel so loud anymore.
is the crescendo?
No, it's not. It's just then. Okay, I'm sorry. Skip that. Can we make sure that the first note in the horn does not? We start a little softer so it feels like one line, please.
Yes.
One more time, please.
See. Very good. Now quicker.
I need to help more.
Yeah.
One more time, please.
Try. One more time. One more time. Ready? Maybe someone has to not clean up the horns. I mean, look around you, what's happened. No, don't. Very good, very good. Now, could be improved is probably the quality of the staccato of the tuba. The tuba is po, 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 to, 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 marcato with a strong T. The horns are already good, but also then they can play more staccato. There is a problem of the acoustic in this fantastic hall. When we play staccato, we have to play 3 times more staccato to obtain the real staccato. So you have to insist. But please, musician, iper staccato. Perfetto, perfetto. So, this it could be a problem for the strings. Because if the string has played ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra, for them it should be much better if the conductor goes on in 3. But the law of the music imposed the conductor to be with them, and also with the desire of Stravinsky. So, usually what's happened, they are not looking at the conductor.
Okay.
Okay, let's try now to put together from, if you want, from there.
Yeah.
40, 40. Interesting, huh? Don't be rush. It was very good, Ruth. But the last, let the trumpet play. Ya ta 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 ta. With them, it's just the signal that we arrive at the meeting point, the next bar.
Yeah.
I know that something that the heart is beating quicker. Once more again.
Yes.
Now, if I start for the fourth or for the third time at 40, 40. Why? So. Okay? They need para, and then let them play. Very clear the start for the second violin. The second violin has an important entrance. If you are beat 3 times like this, you are just killing the mustic. Let the orchestra play, and then, because this music, in my opinion, requires the strongest jest at the right moment. Otherwise, the orchestra goes alone. It's not a lyrical passage, it's really vertical. If you give them energy, after 2 minutes, your energy is there, and they need more energy, and you have no more energy. So the orchestra starts to go down with the energy.
Okay. 40, one more time.
Sorry. Very good. Go on. Very good. Less active.
Okay.
Less active. Let's try tutti these. 43.
43.
Obtain a better ensemble with your technique. Obtain better ensemble.
Okay.
very musical because you communicate energy during this batch. It's fine. But I want that you just control.
Okay.
Find a solution to control and not passing the energy 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, because sometimes you beat too much inside.
Yeah.
And when you beat ta 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 ta, the 3 is there. I mean, sometimes they have a problem to see you if it's like this.
Okay.
Okay? Also there at the bottom of the orchestra.
Okay. Let's do it one more time. 43.
Well, exactly. Sorry, can we play? Dov'è?
There.
Yeah. I'm not staying here. I'm staying a bit higher.
Okay.
Me. Okay, I didn't communicate any musical idea. I was just a metronome.
Okay.
Because it happened like this. I go home.
Okay.
So the orchestra is solid. You have, in this moment, you are a reference point. Bar, bar, I'm with you. Bar, I'm with you. Final place, we are together there. No, it's not necessary to give. It's not changing. The risk is that the orchestra, instead to be very clean, sparkling, they start to play with enthusiasm and damaging the ensemble. Okay? Let's try.
Okay.
Winds player. Ta 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 ta. Pa pa pi pa pi pa pi pa pam.
The second after 46, please.
You beat 3 and 2 here.
Yes.
Ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ta. Ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ta ti ta ta ti ta ta. No? Ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti. It depends. I beat 2 and 3. Ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta.
Okay.
Well, you can beat also 1.
Yeah.
Ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti. Under the ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti. Even that is a place where you, in a way, follow. So ti ta ti ta ta ti ta ti ta ta bum. Ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ta ti ta 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 ti ta ta bum. Easy.
Okay. Shall I do it 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try.
Okay. Same place, please.
I do 2 because I want to start musically. I want papi 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 pa 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 and non papi papi papi. I want that the second F should be clear musically. Ta ti ta ti ta and non ta ti ta ti. Ta ti ta ti ta ti ta ti ta tam. Ti ta ti ta ti ta 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 tam. Use 2 plus 3. Me.
Okay, great. One more time, please.
Ta ti ta 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 ta.
Oh, sorry, I forgot again.
Ta ti ta 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 ta.
Yes. One more time.
Yes, but tutti. 45. brava, molto bene. In the dance here, tum 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 tum. It was that the tempo you chose, or you felt that you were a bit under tempo?
It felt a little under tempo.
Okay, let's try again. There are a couple of things that I want to say. It's figure 13. Wait. Don't give 1, 2.
Oh, okay. Just
Direct. Yes. Also here, your attitude is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Just one.
okay.
Too many movements.
Okay. One more time.
Ferma. Economy. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Now. Oh. Trumpet. 1, 2. You see? It's a very mechanical way to obtain the effect of the perfect ensemble and energy, rather than to remark every bar like this. As I said to you before, very musical, your attitude, very musical, I like very much, but save gasoline. You have to pass the desert. The risk is that you arrive at the first 30 kilometers, no more water, no more gasoline. Just the Bible with you to say. Bene. I leave you a few minutes now if you want to have the orchestra in your hands to do something.
Okay, wow.
What do you want to, I mean, we have this level now. I want to see to you in 5 minutes how you can bring them from this level to that level.
Okay,
Choose a piece and let's see.
great. Actually, let's dive right in at 43. 43. The chords and the strings, can we have them really decisive, really short? Yang, dang. And then, for example, the fourth bar after 43, let's really think a crescendo, or let's not lose energy. That we really have a lot of drive always into the new 6/8 bar. Let's start right at 43. All the 3/8 bars, can we in the wind and brass, can we have them a little shorter? And not so much yata-ta-ta-ta-tin, but yata-ta-ta-ta-tin. Longer phrase. One more time.
Yeah. Then?
Sorry, I couldn't.
What else?
What else here?
You said just one note, crescendo and staccato.
Yes.
But did you note that when they play the crescendo, they slightly make an accelerando? I listened that. To play the crescendo, they playing accelerando. Instead, it should be absolutely controlled. And that is because you pass too much information, too many information. When you set that, the crescendo there, and then control. No accelerando, good crescendo, but not accelerando. If you are involved, you play the accelerando with them.
Yeah. Okay.
You like this? From here, I listen just 3 times, and the horse, isolated, poor guy. Because there was not piano subito, crescendo, and diminuendo.
Yeah.
Okay. Clean up this.
44. 44, please. Okay.
It's okay?
It's better.
You like?
It's better now. It could be. I could have more molto crescendo and immediately going back. And then as well, I would like the crescendo a little longer in 2 before 40, 45. The second time is a long. Yes. So basically, still crescendo on the second note.
And now, what do you do after this indication? You repeat?
Yeah.
With the horn and the trumpets? Probably is a good system to leave them in peace and to clean up the carpet and the strings.
Yeah.
Now, dedicate to the strings.
Yeah.
You talk for the problem is mainly on the strings, so it's not important if the horns and the trumpets play with us.
Yeah.
String soli.
44. I find it too much sting actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I think actually no accent on the high note.
Okay. Personally, the last 2 bars sounds without character. It seems quasi a mistake. It's not deciso that the crescendo goes until the pre and then starts in the next crescendo from the softest point. It seems to and then anarchy. Instead, the last 2 bars should be clear. This is wah, wah, wah. So the starting note is always pianissimo. So, and you have to obtain that. Last 2 bars before the next number. E control the... They can do 3 times much better.
Yeah.
Insist. No. Piano and do it, they write, they kill you. Piano, eh? No. Okay? Right. Yes. Very good. To be precise, the 3rd crescendo starts too loud. The first 2 are perfect. Ta-ra, ta-ra. The 3rd is the same, but is longer respect the others. Yeah. Now put together, and let's see what kind of effect.
44, tutti.
Very good. And last things, because you leave, you check that, but this is very important. The 4 oboe, the 3 oboes and the cor anglais, long crescendo at 45 goes from forte to fortissimo. But to hear the effect, tell them start mezzo forte. Otherwise, the forte fortissimo, the space is not too big. Mezzo forte, and then blow until really the fortissimo. Last time, 44. 1. Don't beat. One, two, three. Bam, bam, bam. Ah. Bravissima.
Thank you.
Grazie. Bravissima.
Thank you.
Tiani. From China.
Yes. Oh, China and New Zealand. New Zealand. Hello, everybody. I would love to do the Don Sacral at the end. Tackle it. I'm here to learn.
Yes.
Do you think?
Of course I think.
Okay.
Huh?
Sorry, may I move this down?
Lower.
It's very tight.
I have to. Lower.
Yes, please.
But you close.
Don't worry. I think
You
it's
close.
impossible.
Wait a minute. This way.
Yes, thank you. Very good.
I was turning the other way, so it was.
Yes, thank you. So,
I don't think
1, 4, 2, and yes, thank you, with the upbeat. Sorry. Wait.
Clear, 2 and 3. Clear.
In piano. We just lost the timpani and the
Okay, yeah.
bass drum
Bene, bene.
back there.
174. Timpani
174, right on. 174.
Brava, brava.
Very loud.
It's very loud.
We can balance it.
Yeah. But, yes, first, before to talk about the balance of the orchestra, I want to talk about you. Taram, 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 taram. Now the first part is fine. From here, 149.
Yes, 149.
No, but I doubt. Conduct a few bars. Conduct a few bars. I watch you again.
Okay.
Okay. You're rhythmically clear. For the people that are not playing, they see 1, 2, 3, 4. The bar in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. You beat 2 times the beat. They need 1 beat. Taram, 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 taram. No 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But not 1, 2. And during the piece, you beat it almost like this. Tirim, 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 ta 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 tim, tirim, 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 ta 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 ti ta 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 tirim, 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 tirim. How many beats you are giving to them?
It's true. I'm afraid that we may come in the rest if I give too much.
Huh? No,
Let me try. Let me try.
Better because
Same place.
good, good. one more trick. Before a new bar is coming, launch a little bit signal. What I did, I just emphasize few centimeters the upbeat of the new bar. Because people sometimes are not playing. No? So they see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. A series of bar in 2. So they count 1. So this, otherwise, of course, it's clear. Please. See? But if you have a moment of disruption in playing, you must know that I'm beating a series of 2 and there will be a 3. So I want to see when the 3 is coming. I'm not saying to make a big gesture, but just a little warning before the bar in 3.
And also keep the tension of the rest.
Of course. Tiri, tiri. Bravissima. Esatto.
Yeah.
Tiri, tiri. No need.
Yes.
Tiri, tiri. Just boom, boom. And stop. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Be careful, don't go too much like this, tara, tara, because the next bar, tara, tara, and then tara, tara. Proportion, inside. Yeah. Easy. Drums. This bar in 3 sound clear. Piani.
Yes, the rest. Ba-dum.
Esatto. 3.
Yes. Da, 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 da.
1, 5, 2.
1, 5, 2.
Sì.
1, 5, 2.
Yes. Dry this, dry. Yes. Good. 2, 2. First of all, I suggest you is sempre sforzato.
Yes,
But
I
you
wonder.
don't want. Yeah, but you
I
want.
wonder here because it says sempre sforzato, but only later we have fortissimo.
Sì.
But I think it is the context still of piano, so not so loud yet at 154.
Okay.
It's just more of the articulation.
Yes.
Ta-da, but not fortissimo yet.
Okay, so you prefer to have from 154 to 157 as quasi mezzo piano.
Mezzo forte, yes.
Mezzo forte, and then exploding fortissimo.
Exactly.
Okay, fine. So you have to tell them that 154 is sforzato, but in the mezzo forte context, not in the forte. Second thing, but they have a lot of pause. It's better when we arrive. Also because musically starting a new section. And be careful about the mezzo forte, but they have a very important start.
Yes.
And the audience has to understand that it starts a new section, and our gestures also help the audience to drive them through the form of the piece. Through the form of the piece.
Yes.
It was this. Baram, 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 baram. Huh? Baram, baram,
3.
baram, 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 baram. Also, the 3 bars, it doesn't work so well. From
Same place?
Yes.
152.
You can give the mezzo forte as you gave it to them.
Yes.
More.
Same place. Thank you. 152.
2, 3. 2, 3, 2, the beginning of the dance. Pam.
7. Bum.
It was very good ensemble. Do it again.
From the beginning. Thank you.
Maybe 2 bars, no? Before?
Yes. 2 bars before. Just 1 bar.
No, 1 is...
Yes, 2 bars before.
I would suggest 3 bars, musically, yeah?
Yes.
3 before the
Let's
dance.
go 3 bars before 1, 4, 2, please.
Okay. Don't move the...
Same place.
Molto bene, very clear, bravissima. Molto bene. The same attitude now.
When we come back.
No. Let's play 166. 166, please. This is very difficult.
Yes. 2 or 3 upbeat.
Huh?
216, huh? It's better.
I don't know. We see.
Okay.
166.
That's okay.
Don't move the podium like this, eh? Just the arm.
Sorry. Basis there.
See, but now you start directly from the return of the dance. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
And you have this problem, the 3/8 bar.
Yes. I will give only.
No.
167.
You are concentrated to resolve a problem.
Yes.
Where is the problem?
The second bar.
Exactly. Is the second bar the problem, not the first?
Mm-hmm.
So we must be clear where exactly the second bar starts. Shall I?
Yes. Please.
Nobody's playing. Nobody's playing. So what is important? To control the space of the first bar.
Mm-hmm.
If I want tension, okay? If I want tension, go in tempo.
Yes.
If I want more tension,
okay.
good. What I've done.
You're very convinced.
Thank you. But I mean, no, it's not. It's not that. Yes, I try to be clear during the first bar and the space between the first and second. Pa, or pa, When I beat again the second bar, it's for me like to start in my mind.
Yes.
Otherwise, we are too much concentrated in the first upbeat for the first bar.
Yes, yes.
That it could be 1, 2, boom, or boom. It could be, better 2, or better to give an energy. Boom, boom. And then you, in the water, the second bar, clearly. So for this reason, I did a super ritenuto.
Okay, same thing.
Good. Bravissima. Bravissima, Tiana. Bravissima.
Thank you.
This is, I'm sorry, friends. This is an example, not to resolve this bar, as we talk in the hall, is to resolve any musical problem, rhythmical problem, in the piece that you can find. And maybe you are not forced to do in 3. So how can I do? If the composer puts un pa plus comma, and you want to respect the idea of the comma, how can I do this? And maybe if I felt un ta,
Yes.
So you felt in your arm that it's possible to emphasize this, and the orchestra is coming exactly with you. It's not required. I forced the music. I'm wrong. But I use an example like this to pass you a solution. Thanks. 166.
Okay. And the accelerando, I was not clear. It didn't work somehow. So the accelerando into it.
There is one more thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The timpani has a beat in 167. And when the timpani is very clear, boom, ta, the orchestra answering to
Yes.
that. Yeah, right. 66, and then you can do the accelerando as quick you want.
166.
Yeah, but not this. And of course, they are less accelerando because you start with a faster tempo. You play before tara, 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 tara. So if you start 166, it's tara, 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 the space of. But you start tara, tara. You're already in the speediness of the accelerando.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, it's fine. I mean.
Yeah.
to get
Sorry.
That's a great idea. Thank you. 165. I'm thinking too far ahead. 165. 165.
No. Try to win yourself. I know it's difficult to control, but try to win yourself. When you start accelerando, you're doing like this. Is it ineffective? Just with the arm. Just with the arm. They follow. They follow here. They don't follow the body.
165. It's okay. I have it. Yes.
But it was better. So,
Yes.
easy. Again. You didn't understand?
Yes.
You didn't understand?
Yes.
How can we obtain an accelerando?
Without arms.
Yeah, of course, not with the... Yeah, of course. How can we obtain? To reduce?
Smaller.
Yes. Allora. Okay, everybody has his own physical style, okay?
Yes.
Okay. We understand. one arm. Just one arm. If I do like this, in a way, it's ineffectively accelerando.
Yes.
Benissimo, benissimo. And because you didn't hit, but just you passed the bar. So, quasi legato. Quasi legato. Once more again. Quasi legato. Don't too quick, eh? Legato.
Timpani, please. You're the really important here at 174. Can I go right into 174, please?
How you beat 5?
Depends.
Depends of what?
Well, depends on the bar it is. But here,
yeah. Which cardinal points you are touching when you beat 5?
1, 2, 3, 4.
But you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before,
yes.
eh?
Yes.
Not 1, 2, 3. Now it's good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You did 1, 2, 3.
Consistency. 174.
You see the second bar in 5, the second bar 5, bar 3, when you return 5, 1, 2, 3. It's okay, but for my opinion, you go too much at
on
the left. You go too much on the left.
Then I lose control
1, 2,
of the sound.
center, right, up.
Same place. Sometimes with 5, it depends on how I feel it musically, and it changes sometimes. But
yeah.
I think maybe I need to be more consistent.
But you must control all the palette. If for any reason someone is asking you, can you beat 4 in this bar or 5 in this bar, you must be ready to resolve quickly. If you ask to the winds player, to the violin player, sorry, they play, and can you play on the G side, the string, and this with this bow? They immediately dominate the technique to produce that. If someone is coming to you to say, can you beat a singer, maybe not just a singer? I would like that if I'm useful to beat in another way. It's a cheap answer. Of course, you can conduct, but you are not demonstrate that you are dominate the technique. And when someone is asking to you, pass from this, boom, immediately you must have in your arm like a Terminator. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Okay, I do this.
I can, yes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, someone, I saw colleagues, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For me, 1, 2, 3, as I said to you, go too far in this direction.
Okay. No worries, let's do it.
Five. Vai in ottava. Tum, pa, ta, 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 cha, cha, cha,
186, please.
cha, cha, cha.
186.
Bravo, bravo, molto
Thank you.
bene, molto bene.
Thank you.
You beat this passage, as is written. I use to create group of bar, to have, a musical idea. Ta 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 bum ta 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 pam 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 ti ta 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 pam 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 ti ta 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 tam tam tam. No, so now it's not that.
Phrase.
Maybe tomorrow, because this afternoon I show you how for phrasing. But just one thing.
Do you
quick
mean
thing.
in terms of you beat a pattern or
I
more in
beat.
terms
I collect the bar maybe in 4, in 3, in having 10, for instance. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Think like this.
Yes.
Analyzing
Pa, pa, pa.
analyzing the harmony and the so-called melody.
Yes.
There was, you have pa 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 ta ta ti ta. Where is a musical possible musical beat? People could say it doesn't exist. But come on, if you play ta 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 ta, there is a rival point of the motto. And the other system, I think, it's clear with the orchestra if they see a sort of ideal upbeat of the phrase, they react next bar. But
Is
we
it
talked this
possible-
afternoon.
Okay, I would love to try this because
But I have to explain. You have already in mind?
Yes, I have something. Maybe it's different to what you have in mind, but maybe I'd like to try
Okay.
phrasing it because I feel it that way, but sometimes I'm worried
All right.
not being clear.
Okay, fine. From?
Pa, 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 pa. Maybe from 192.
See? Okay.
Pa, pa, pa. Yes. 192.
I saw that there is you play ta 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 ta, and in one bar you did it ta 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 ta. I saw that 3 times ta ta, and the hands goes down ta ti ta 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 ti, ta 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 ta, e poi ta ti, ta 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 ti. The same B flat 3 times in down and the 4th time up, or the second was up. So means that your schema needs a little bit to be reconsidered because it's not. I mean, it's quite odd to have pam 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 ti, ta ta pa pa boom, no? Ta, 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 and then pa pa bam, and then we arrive at the musical beat 2 notes, 3 notes later. So we cannot do now because we have to.
Let's talk about it this afternoon.
Last thing. I'm not too severe. Here.
Yes.
There is a little trick, because this is a ending part of the music, no? Possible, no? Oh, 186. Let's go. Because I beat differently this bar.
Ah.
Go.
186.
Yeah. I feel the trumpet like a sort of musical upbeat for the next.
Ah.
Me, personally. Shall we try 186? I don't beat ta 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 ti ta. They play alone. I stop. Ratatatata. Energy for the beat.
Yes.
I show you again.
This is
One,
where-
yes. One before 189. I look. Of course the upbeat is 2. Of course the upbeat is 2, but it's not ta 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 ti. They don't need it. The second, the upbeat of 2 is for the rest of the orchestra because it starts a new musical period. Let's
Yes,
try.
yes.
How is this feeling?
Same place? 1 before 189.
Give it them. Yeah. Coffee
Tea.
time. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Bravo. Bravissimo. Bravo. Huh?
Thank you, Maestro. Thank you, Daniele. Thank you, Ruth, Reinhard. For all of you, join us now on Facebook and have a cup of coffee on the side because we have some special interval discussions, interrogations, so to speak. Dominic Seldis, the RCO's solo bass, is joining me. He's a virtuoso on the instrument, but he's a TV presenter as well.
Come and join.
Daniele, join me. Yeah. Congratulations. Here.
Okay.
Take a left here. Yeah,
Okay,
here we
how
go.
are you?
Yeah. Okay, let's
Okay.
have a break
They're good, eh? They're very good, eh?
and enjoy some conversations.
No,
we're going down.
you just follow us.
Yeah.
You just follow us. Well done. Are you okay?
Yes.
You're going to need a little lie down.
Brave, brave, brave.
I was so nervous. I didn't do any more. Yet just did what you told me, but I
Yes, because I experienced it and now I have to internalize it. But you are also right that we should be able to change it quickly.
See,
Yes.
this is what I really ask for the people that
Yes.
want to do this
Yes,
profession.
you're right. You're right. It is part of the craft.
And it's also to show to the orchestra they are in good hands. Then musically, okay, but unless in this we are not looking for.
Yes.
Maestro, we're going to take them away.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
but no.
No.
I live in fantastic hands.
Great. Okay, join us.
Okay, time for a break.
Join us. Come on down.
Et toi? Ça va bien? C'est bien, non?
All right. So now I think this is possibly the last thing that you want to be doing after all of that. Absolutely. But congratulations, both of you, on what was an extremely difficult.
Thank you. I don't really sweat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't have
Ladies,
sweat glands.
ladies glow. They don't sweat. Now come on round. We have literally thousands of viewers. It's not just my mum. No. Here, so I'm going to try and find some questions later. So, ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook, we're going to try and find some questions to ask these two magnificent young ladies. So, write in. Join in the fun, join in the conversation. We'll try and get to some of them. I can't guarantee that we're going to get to all of them, but we will definitely get to some. And they're from all around the world. So, and it's really quite excellent is if you can tell us where you're from as well. So then it's a proper, fully international thing. First of all, congratulations, both of you, for getting here in the first place. I have to ask both of you, what we're talking about here is two females, still in this game, is predominantly male. Whether we like it or not, that's the way it is. But it's getting there. Somehow in the last 5 years, things have changed. I have to say in the first 20 years of my career, I never saw a woman on the platform ever, on the podium ever. And now it's happening all the time, which is great. I never quite worked out why that was. And secondly, but there aren't any German female conductors that I can name off the top of my head, and there certainly aren't any from New Zealand.
Oh, there are.
That I can name, that you can name.
Yes.
Tell
I mean,
me.
a good friend, Holly Matheson. She's from New Zealand, Gemma New, and I mean, yeah, we have a
Are
few
there?
coming up. Yes.
In that case, that's my ignorance. And maybe have they ever taken off a plane off the island of New Zealand?
Oh yes.
Yeah, they have.
absolutely.
Okay.
Well, Gemma was in the States for a while. She's
Okay.
conducting there, and Holly is based in London.
Oh,
And
is
they're
she?
wonderful.
How,
Yeah.
I'm sure they are. I don't doubt that for a second. I was just trying to. Let's deal with this whilst we're here. We have two ladies. Why is this? This was the worst question I ever got asked. Was why are there no female conductors? And I didn't really have a good answer for it. So I'm hoping that you can tell me so I can give a good answer the next time.
I think we can answer it together, but I think this it has many reasons. I think that back in the days there weren't any role models, so I think fewer women maybe thought of this being a possibility. Actually, to be honest, like despite there were role models when I grew up, I was told very clearly that I shouldn't be a conductor too.
Is that right? You were actually
still like 10 years ago or so from many people. So I think there's a lot of that. Then as well, I know.
Facebook now, they're crazy.
No, but then I think it first of all needed this to have even the option, and then I think for quite a long time, I mean, maybe 40 years ago or so, I think it was really hard for women to get actually accepted into like a graduate program to conduct. I think there were just at so many levels gatekeepers that didn't let people through, or that made it harder maybe to push through. That I think that made it hard, and then I think now there are great people like Maren Alsop and all those wonderful and Susanna Malki, who I adore.
Yeah, our own Karina
Exactly.
We boast the first female conductor for a Dutch orchestra.
Yeah.
The Netherlands Radio Philharmonic from 1819. She'll be our chief conductor, so we are extremely proud of having her from New York to Hilversum and so on. Yeah.
So, but I think that first of all we can help each other. That creates possibilities. Like Maren also has this program for there's many programs now coming up for female conductors, and it's just more visible. You think it's a thing that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, and so it gives you encouragement, I guess, that the fact. So physically, you are generally small. I mean, you are smaller. There is this whole sort of big macho male thing, especially with Daniele there, who's a big lump of a guy. Have you ever come across a situation where your physical size and the fact that your voice is quieter and all of these kind of things, has anybody ever said to you, this is something you shouldn't do because of that? Or is it just simply a case of just the way it is through history, I guess?
I think it depends on what qualities we associate with certain attributes.
Yeah.
So I always like to think of things on a spectrum. I don't think, for example, you have Maren Alsop, who's actually quite a strong woman, and she can be seen to be traditionally more masculine than some male conductors, and then you can say a tall conductor may struggle, because of managing this, so maybe it's better to be smaller. So I think we attach certain qualities, like positive and negative, to attributes, and I think it's better to think of things as objectively and say, hey, what can we use with our physicality? What is the best result that we can get? And you can approach that many ways. I've done a bit of Alexander technique, Feldenkrais, and Tai Chi. I think about how I move, and I think about it more not in terms of the fact that I'm a woman, but in terms of the physical shapes and what musical ideas I want to produce.
Isn't it funny that Daniele Gatti asks you to do even less than more? I mean, he's not asking to be stronger or bigger or more impressive physically, but do less. Mm-hmm. Don't move so much.
Yes.
Make smaller movements. Make the little square of conducting even smaller. So it does not play a role at all.
I think it's the intensity of the energy. And if you think Shen Zhang is a conductor, female conductor, I admire very much. Yeah. She is shorter than I am, but she has so much focus in the way she conducts. And I think what Daniele Gatti was trying to tell us was, if we can condense the energy so that we are giving the exact information to the musicians that they need.
To the tip of the baton.
And
that's the only thing.
Yeah. Actually give the right information and cut out all the other stuff that is only kind of visual blur. Just give the beats that are really important and cut out the other
Which is difficult sometimes because we are enthusiastic and we have these ideas, and then it gets unclear.
Well, now, so from a musician's perspective, you're ridiculously gifted. We don't have to do that much research to find out that you definitely got hit with the gift stick when you were born. Conductor, obviously. A violinist also?
Yeah, that was my instrument, yeah.
Okay, composer also?
No, I wouldn't call myself that. No, I used to compose when I was a teenager.
Of course, because that's what teenagers do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What is it exactly that you composed when you were a teenager?
Mostly chamber music, one orchestra work, and then mostly I wanted to conduct so badly, and I wanted to do opera so badly.
So she
and
wrote
of course, one. Yes, I did.
You did. You're
yes,
kidding.
Yes, I wrote a children's opera.
You wrote a children's
because
opera.
I knew that all my friends in the youth orchestra, they would be willing to play just to figure out if my piece was any good or not. So I knew that if I wrote my own piece, first of all, I could tailor it to the assets that I had, but secondly, I knew that I would have an orchestra because they would all be so curious.
Of course. That's the advantage of youth orchestra. Yeah. And so, violin, do you play an instrument?
I did a degree in flute performance and played the piano when I was 5.
Okay.
And I dabbled in
Did you?
electronic composition and harpsichord and baroque flute. I just tried to pick up things to learn. I was a composer as well when I started off, and that's how I got into conducting. Is my teacher said, "Why don't you conduct it?" And I said, "How do you conduct?"
Right.
Said, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So this is where I was going. You've got composers, conductors. This is all part of the same thing. How important do you think it is to, if you want to become a conductor, to play an instrument?
Very.
I think it's. I don't think you can be a conductor without playing an instrument at a very high level.
And an orchestral instrument?
I think with the discussion about piano, right?
That's where I'm going with this. Yeah.
Are you trying to promote the double bass?
No, I don't suggest. Although, of course, they're great. That's because bass players make very good conductors.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played the bass for one term just to do the slow movement of
the
bit, because you were a million flute players. So I said, we need some bass players.
Yeah.
And, look at my hands.
Yeah.
I could barely stretch.
Yeah, I know. That's why I played the bass. They just need people. And so, the idea of being an instrumentalist, obviously, there's the connection with you can understand what it is that an orchestral musician needs when you're conducting. But so how is it then that when you start studying conducting, it so quickly becomes the bottom of the pile and there are so many other things to think about? In other words, you come here and one of the first things that Daniele says to you is to remind you that this is what the musicians need, not what you need. How does that happen? What is it in the process of learning that somehow you become so sort of transfixed with your own stuff, the score?
I don't know, but I would maybe think that, something like the Rite of Spring is, if you look at it in the score, there's just so much information jumping at you. And it's at the first moment, particularly if you study it for the first time, you're just slightly freaking out.
Sure.
So I think somewhere in that middle, you start getting more worried about your own thing than
Right.
Yes.
yeah.
But I think ultimately we always try and aim to think about the physicality of the musicians, and that's something I'm really trying to learn at the moment, is watching the physical gestures needed to make a certain sound and to mimic that in your own body, because ultimately you are trying to aid the creation of that sound. And if you understand the physicality needed, you will not give a huge upbeat for a tiny piccolo.
Sure.
And actually it's amazing how you can ruin the playing of very fine musicians
Give me an example of that. I mean, because it's so subtle, and quite often the people in the audience don't necessarily see this language that's going on between the conductor and the musician. You often hear that conductors get in the way. Give me an example of how you know that you would get in the way. So, for instance, the big upbeat for a pianissimo.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done many times. We learn by mistake, I suppose, and we learn by listening. And sometimes, for example, a brass chord, especially if a horn has a very high note and, they need to have a certain embouchure to produce that sound. If I give the articulation, the gesture in a way that is too harsh, then they can very easily split the note because, the amount of air required. And I think it is also my responsibility. Of course, they know how to play their instrument, but I think we have a responsibility to make it as easy for them as possible. Yeah.
I would just add to that I think that's why experience for conductors is so important. You can spend so many hours studying a piece, but actually doing it once is so different, because only when you do it the first time do you realize. For example, in this place, in the bar yup up up bum.
Yes.
The bass note, you just only when you do it and it doesn't happen do you think, oh God, I need to pay more attention to the bass and be really clear there.
Yes.
But
And it's already gone.
beforehand you don't know that on the table, like it doesn't jump at you necessarily.
The great thing for us is as listeners, because we listen with our eyes. We are impressed by a conductor who moves a lot and he's impressive and authoritative, or you know what. But it's so. I'm learning so much again that it's not about the visual information, about the essentiality of inside, and the information is not about the show. It's not about how do I look, what do I look like,
No, ideally.
how do I come across, but
yes, absolutely.
you're serving
Yes.
the score,
You are
you're serving the
absolutely a
orchestra.
servant to the musicians and also to the score, to the composer. And that is something, for me, I love to move a lot, and that's something I'm always trying to work on, is how do I make it, essential, like you said. And it's not just the gesture, but it is how is it helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gives us as listeners a new insight in what a conductor is and what he does, she does, and help us to listen with our ears
Yes.
and not with our eyes.
Well, you are getting a lot of love on Facebook. It has to be said. We're seeing all sorts of extraordinary things going on. Now, there's the bell, but we've still got time.
Yeah.
I want to just talk now away from music, away from the score, away from what you're doing here, and try and find out a little bit more about you personally. First of all, where do you live?
I just moved
Which
2 days
hotel?
ago.
Which suitcase? Yeah.
Yes.
You just moved.
I just moved 2 days ago. I just finished up I was the assistant conductor in Dallas with the Dallas Symphony.
Right.
And I just finished that, and I just moved back to Saarbrücken in Germany, to my hometown,
Close by.
because
Okay.
I'll just be guest conducting.
So that's quite a big cultural change. We
Yeah.
could talk about that maybe another time,
Yes,
shall we?
yeah.
Okay, but it's good to be home. And where do you live?
Oh, well, I've been living out of a suitcase for the
Yeah.
last year, but I've just signed a lease in a place in Melbourne for the next year. I'm the assistant conductor of the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra
Fantastic.
in Australia.
Fantastic.
And I mean, it started last year, but we were also Dudamel Fellows at the Los Angeles
Both of
Philharmonic.
you, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
we met in
Very.
Dallas because I was working with the Dallas Opera, so I
Okay.
was involved with assisting Carlo Montanaro. And we had coffee a few months ago. I was really happy.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
very, you and I also have a connection that you studied in
I was
Cardiff.
in the UK for
That's
many
right,
years,
that's
and I
right.
still go back quite often. So and my family are in China, so I've been traveling a
Wow.
lot.
So
And,
where's home?
I don't have a home. No, home is where your friends are, I suppose. And
Yeah, but that doesn't
you
quite
make
answer
a
the
home.
question. Where is
No,
home?
no,
Where do you call
Where
home?
was home?
I think
New Zealand.
myself. Yeah, I think New Zealand. that's where my family is, and Shanghai is where my grandparents are.
Okay.
But I'm trying to find home at the moment.
And how does a Chinese girl from New Zealand get to have the ambition to become a conductor? I mean, that's just... I've been to New Zealand, and what an extraordinary place it is. Have you ever been?
Unfortunately not, no.
You will.
I
You'll
wanna
get to go there, because
Yeah.
it is really extraordinary.
Yes,
and
it is.
big up all the New Zealanders out there who are... It's an amazing place.
Yeah.
But it has to be said, unlike Germany, unlike the UK, New Zealand is not necessarily known for its classical music culture.
Well, no, we don't have that history, but actually the NZSO and Auckland Philharmonia, we have very fine orchestras and we have very fine composers and musicians there. You'd be surprised, actually, what we do there.
Yeah.
And I think, of course, actually the thought never crossed my mind to be a conductor, never seen one of women, especially on the podium, but it was actually the German conductor, Eckhard Stier of the Auckland Philharmonia, who saw me in a beginner's workshop, and he said, "Have you thought of this as a career?" And I said, "What? A woman can be a conductor?" He's like, "Yes, there are some in Europe, and it's possible." And he gave me lessons, and my high school teacher, Peter Thomas, and Uwe Grod at the university, they all encouraged me to pursue it. So I just sort of walked one door, and another door opened, and here I am.
And there you are. You're still relatively young.
Extremely young.
I mean, you know, for conducting standards,
Extremely
you've got
young.
at least another 40 years before anybody
Before we
takes you
start getting
seriously
good.
at all.
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Well, thank you for that.
But it's just the way it is in
Yeah.
this. What are you going to do in your spare time that sort of just keeps your sort of feet on the ground? Because you've got a long journey ahead, and both of you, I have no doubt at all that we'll be seeing you very often. What do you do? Because studying a score takes forever. What do you do in your spare time?
What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I actually picked up golf, so I'm learning to play golf,
All right.
which is very frustrating and very much fun.
Okay.
And then I love good food. I love, spending time with family also.
And
Yeah.
so do you eat before or after concerts?
Oh, before.
After.
And both. Actually,
And
both.
during.
During,
And during.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you're a before.
After.
You're an after.
Yeah.
And you're
I
a
have
before.
to eat before, otherwise I will faint. I have low blood sugar, so
Oh, really?
Okay.
God, I need a steak.
Okay. And what do you do in your spare time as a
Well, I'm actually learning that because I tend to be a workaholic, and it's not easy for me to switch off. But I try, and actually listen to audiobooks, and I love nature. I just love going for walks and cooking. I love food. Food is like my other passion. So
Yeah.
So many musicians love food.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. Only that we're blessed to be traveling around the world and get to eat in magnificent
But it's so
restaurants.
important to find something else, something totally
Yes,
different,
I
because
think
your
so.
hobby is your passion, is your trade, is your 24 hours a day of business. So you have to
I
find
think that's so
something
important.
for recharging the battery or do something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And
Sometimes you learn the hard way.
so food, let's go carry on with the food thing. You're traveling around. Where is, to date, your favorite city because of food?
Bologna,
Bologna.
I
Okay.
think.
Oh, Melbourne for sure, because we've got everything.
Yeah,
We
it's
have like
magnificent
hundreds
there.
and hundreds of nationalities, different types of ethnic food. Great Italian food in Melbourne. Great Greek food as well.
That's great.
And why Bologna?
Chinese.
I just loved it there. There's so good food. It's not touristy. It's affordable. Great drinks. So yeah.
And a great new orchestra, the Mozart Orchestra, the Claudio Abbado Orchestra is in Bologna, wasn't it? Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is true. And then I'm going to ask because I know that people will want to know. With regards what to wear, because it's okay for guys, because we get tails. We get rock costume or frock or whatever it is you call it, but we look... Where do you even begin? Do you get something made for you? How do you... where does it go, that line between fashion and affordability and being not too much fabric flapping around?
Short answer, please. We have to go back to the hall.
Okay. I like a long jacket, but that's still female cut. Just get it from the store. There's
Oh, do you?
one
You just
brand.
go into a store and...
There's one brand that really fits me well. So, but I really love Susanna Malki's style actually,
Yeah.
and she has
So
really
do I.
cool
Yeah.
outfits.
Good
So
stuff,
It's
yeah.
cool.
I'm gonna look into
and
that
classic.
more.
Yeah.
We'll get you the number.
Yeah.
We'll
Yes.
come back to you on that one.
Well,
Okay,
All
ladies.
right, ladies,
Thank you
we're
so
going to leave
much.
you here for a second. We're going to
Take a
go back
break.
into the hall.
Great.
And
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you
Thank
very,
you.
very much.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Well done.
Okay.
All right, Hans.
So,
I've got to go back to my day job.
have you studied this morning?
Did I study? No.
Yes.
No,
I
but I came on my
bicycle
bike
actually
here. You see, we're in
there,
Amsterdam,
but I need to go.
Yeah.
and everybody bikes. So I came on my bike, and here I am. It's very exciting, isn't it? It's a wonderful thing.
What's there in for you in this masterclass? Do you learn things? Do you pick up things?
For me, I think it's really interesting to watch Daniele do his thing, and of course it gives us a slightly different angle on how he thinks, and that definitely improves our relationship. Not that it was broken, but it just makes it better.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and pick up my bass.
For
All
Johannes
right.
Brahms.
All
Okay,
right.
have fun. Are you necessary? Are you needed?
No.
Are you needed? Okay.
I just thought because this is normally our home here.
Yeah.
We're normally we're up and down. We're up and down here, but luckily somebody's tuned my bass for me.
Constantly being moved around.
Yeah.
In these 10 meters, 10, 15 meters.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't really matter where we sit. In this amazing hall, there's different places for the bassists to sit, and sometimes over on the left, sometimes in the middle. There's the Vienna Philharmonic thing where they sit in a row at the back, and there's often this whole thing where you need to do it like the Vienna Philharmonic, but the only reason they do it is because there's no space on the stage.
There's no space behind them. No.
Exactly.
Okay. Have fun. Take your
all right.
place.
See you later.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back. We have had the ladies. They made such an impression. Now it's time for the boys. Please welcome both of them, Roderick Cox in a moment, and first of all, Nuno Coelho, and the coach, Daniele Gatti. Please welcome them warmly on the stands from the Rite of Spring now to a beloved piece from the 19th century, the Haydn Variations by Johannes Brahms. Enjoy. There they are.
Nuno, no?
Yes, Nuno.
Nuno. Bene.
Very good morning. We'll start with Brahms, please. From the beginning.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Relax. What is your plan?
I would actually like to play a little bit with the strings and then maybe come back to the chorale. Or I can also work now with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are now in. I'm not
Yeah,
here.
okay, yeah,
No, I mean
good.
I'm not here.
Okay.
You have with them 12 hours rehearsal to play for the program. This piece,
Yeah,
a
very
massive
good, okay.
50-minute symphony and a
Yeah.
piano concerto.
Yeah.
You have to organize
Mm-hmm.
the time of the rehearsal.
Yeah.
And to consider if you are playing the chorale and then to play with the strings and then coming back to the chorale when the mind of the player are already put in the wardrobe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Then let's take the chorale, please. Maybe let's start from the very beginning. I find that the second voices can come a bit more of sound that we hear very clearly. And
They offer to you an idea.
mhm.
What did you note about the playing of my musician?
It's a very
If you have to judge, no,
Yeah.
they played for you.
Yeah.
They follow you, but in a way they played for you.
Yes.
What have you note about that? What do you think is good? What it could be different?
It's a very beautiful, dolce,
Hmm?
soft sound. I would imagine something a bit more articulated, more spoken in a way.
See?
Still keeping this dolce, but that it has some words.
Yes. So I had the impression, as an audience, that the separato notes
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
no flash, no
Yeah.
no meat. Ti, 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 ti,
Yeah.
quasi portato, no?
Yes.
Para, ta, ta, ti.
Yeah.
The horse at the end was too short. Tara, pa, pa, pa. No staccatissimo, but too much staccato respect.
Yes.
So in one word, you can say, maybe, what kind of idea you have with this chorale?
Yeah, it's a solenne, but still being a chorale, being with words. So ti, pom, 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 pom.
But you're
With
singing
articulation.
solenne, you said solenne, pom, 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 pom.
Yeah.
See, you say it's solenne, it's da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Hmm? So this is also how to use the word.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm sorry, it was good what you
Yeah.
said, but you go in the second accord, but they have no the idea of the
general,
difference. Then you go inside maybe to clean up.
Yeah.
But give them an idea
Mhm.
and give to them.
Yeah, solenne.
Okay,
Chorale.
let they have played the solenne. For them, is what is solenne? I show you one thing, Nuno. Okay, I show the phrasing.
Yeah.
Or.
Yeah.
Without speak.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
If you are conducting and what they are producing is far from what are you doing, something doesn't work
Yeah. Mhm.
at this level. For this reason, I said we can gain time
Yeah.
because you have a symphony and the piano concerto to rehearse in 12 hours plus the rest.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo. Benissimo. Bravissimo. You pass and they understand and they offer to you a
Yep.
thing like this. Now, talk about the melody. Who has the melody?
oboe, first bassoon.
Yes. Exactly. How can we listen the melody better?
By having the chords being bassoon or horns, slightly more accompagnato, in a warm but accompagnato
Is
way.
it difficult to translate for the musician?
Less sostenuto.
No. No. Melody, left,
Yeah.
right hand.
Yeah.
This harmony.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You play louder than this
Yeah.
hand than this one.
Yeah.
So, oboe and first bassoon in sonority. All the other members, 30%
Yeah.
less.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough to say this.
Okay.
All the other members, 30% less, except principal bassoon and principal oboe.
Mm-hmm.
Please. Exactly.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just one word.
Yeah.
Just and go and to hit what is
Exactly the point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can we go on?
See.
Yeah. So I suggested the second oboe, like with the first oboe, the beats separated, that we hear more difference for the portato, and it's a beautiful pianissimo. But I would like not to stay too slow, but I can do that better as well.
Bravo.
And then when we have the chords at 23, especially trumpets, it could have more of a bell character with more diminuendo, and also I imagine they're not quite all the same, but the first and the third a little bit stronger.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. You said a very, very interesting thing. But there is one other interesting thing, for my opinion, which is here. Consider the sound. Please, can you play the first 2 or 3 bars at the beginning? The beginning.
The very
Play.
beginning.
Listen. Not the phrasing, the color. Thank you. With the same piano, play bar 19. 19. Which is the difference?
You have the flute bright and then the brass warm.
Exactly. But more the flute.
Yeah.
It's a sort of a beam light which is enlight the wood color which we have at the beginning. At the beginning is really like in Italiano è mogano, la noce. And then at bar 21 comes the 2 flute, which brings to the orchestra a sort of silver light. No, it's like the light turn on. We have to privilege that, considering that the flute stay on forte, the other play a little bit less, and don't exaggerate with the trumpet, which also are important. The trumpet brings light. Now, let's balance this. Bar 19. As it's written, forte, forte, but mezzo forte, the darkest instrument. Bravo, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Next variation.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I would say that the most difficult thing for this variation is that to get the two lines of the strings, the triplets and the normal eighths, exactly the same balance. When this comes in the upper register, it tends to over-dominate from when it's just the cello or just the viols and basses. And I think, likewise, we can make this piano, which is beautiful, but at the moment it's sort of a transparent piano. I would imagine something more intimate and poco più sostenuto in the character, to the contrast of the marcato from the winds. Could you do the very beginning, please? And also the very beginning, I think it's important if we can have the first 5 bars, more of this contrabassoon, low horns, and then piccolo, that we hear the wide span of the registers. First variation, beginning.
Sorry, I understand part of what your request, but you gave to them several information. Yeah, and quite quick. And I don't. I'm sorry, I'm stupid probably, but I didn't understand what exactly you want from the string.
That's.
And for instance, if I was distracted, maybe also someone in the orchestra would be distracted.
Yeah. It's just that we find a good balance of the two voices, that is they're equally important, and not that when it's in the violins, it suddenly sounds louder than when it's in the cello.
So give them the opportunity to test it, because they are engaged. Rehearse these few bars with the strings.
Okay. So it's one. Thank you very much. I think the balance is much better now. We hear equal. I still find that the piano is a sort of floating piano, and I imagine something more dolce.
Dolce intense.
Dolce sostenuto, and not flautando. A little bit flautando as it is now.
Okay. Now this is a good indication.
Yeah. And the crescendo only quite late as it's written. Yes.
Yeah. Molto bene. Now the indication that you gave to the winds player.
Yeah. It was just to re-emphasize the low instruments in the first 5 bars and the bright instruments in the second phrase, in poco marcato. And although he doesn't write the last 2 bars,
He didn't play.
yes.
Because you didn't ask to play. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so important, the timpano.
Yeah. So the last 2 bars for the woodwinds, that although he doesn't mark marcato anymore, the accents, but it still doesn't become subito legato. It's tim, pam, 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 still in the... I say pa, pa, pa again.
You are very good in you are very good in the indication, but you are losing the rhythm of the rehearsal because the first chorale we talk about the meaning of the piece. Sostenuto, tenuto, the chorale. Now you are teaching to them about balance. Interesting, fine. But what is the DNA of the variation?
For me, is this really intimate chamber, 2 voices with each other.
Yeah, but it's not always present there. It's not always.
No, here it's...
Don't you think that the DNA of the variation is bam, bam, bam,
yeah.
bam? Because this is the ostinato. And you find this always.
Yeah.
The specular line is a typical counterpoint technique that Brahms is using often. And you can say one line and the other line are equal, but musically, the visit card of the variation is bam, bam, bam. Play the first 8 bars. No, tutti. Cadenza. Have you seen? Now, if for any reason I want to outline this, because this is interesting melodical parts and fine, you write perfectly that the 2 lines are equal, one go down, one go up. But what is similar from the first to the last bar is the repetition of the same motto. So you have the timpani will help you. Boom, 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 boom. Then the flutes and the ding, 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 trumpet, bam, bam, bam. And if we see also here, despite our different notes, in bar 41, 2, 3, 44 and 45, da-ri-ri, bam, da-ri-ri, bam, da-da-da-di-di-di-da. And again, bam, bam, bam. It seems that he used this ink to write this variation, plus the variation. My opinion, what you said is good, but I would like to have more character for that. So, for instance, the horn, the bassoon, the timpani, all the players that has to repeat 4 times the same note has to play pesante, don, 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 like in a way a heavy step. This.
Yep. Tutti, please. Without a repeat.
Better. Yes. I like it because it's small, but the last chord. Interesting. What a music, and maybe the audience is more attracted about what happened there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a little bit too small. Step forward. You said the strings has a mirror line. You talk about balance.
Yeah.
This is a bit the enigma of this variation. Let's play just the string. Conduct the music of the strings without the winds and the timpani. Exactly. So it seems that this music wants to go. It's not written, this music, like, okay? No?
Was I conducting?
No, you did well. So. Free, open air, 2. Okay?
Yep.
And you did it when you play with the strings. put ensemble the
together.
two elements. It seems a group of birds that want to fly up in the cage of death. So we have to obtain the scent of the variation, having bum, bum, and they want to sing, la, da, da, dee, 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 which I think music is more important than to say balance.
Okay.
The audience in front of the variation has the image that this is the skeleton, but there is a freedom inside. And the skeleton is imposing to you, no, you stay here. No, you don't fly. And they want to fly up. That's the reason of the crescendo also. Not just because the crescendo goes to the forte, because it's a sense of delivery that. And they understand now how to play this passage. Okay, how can I emphasize that? Using a gesture for the orchestra, that privilege that, because the softened part of the music is this one, in a way, if you can figure out that. You don't need to beat 3 or 4 bar, bam, bam, dari, because you are beating for this group of players. But you can give to the strings and to the entire variation this scent of flowing. Okay, let's from the beginning, please. More and less like this, more and less. For me, I'm taking also a tempo a little bit quicker, which is easier. So you conduct the spirit of the variation, but they are keeping set. Next variation.
Can we please start the second part? I think we can, in the second bar, so this is bar 70, obtain a subito piano that it's immediately...
I have a question.
Yes.
Excuse me, I have a question, more important. How did you choose the tempo for this variation?
I choose it on the do, that we find that if it would be major, it could be a umoresque quasi feeling.
Sì, but you sang the right spot. Which
I was a bit too faster than this.
Lost character for that. So First of all, I think it's slightly too fast for the character of variation.
Yeah.
It's più vivace, it's not vivace. Più vivace of the previous,
Yeah.
the previous one. So, have in mind the clarinet, the tempo. And this probably is, we can say that it's quite close to the good tempo for the variation. Why? Which is the character, the compositional character, of the technical composition character of this variation? Remember what we did for the first variation. We talk about what?
Yeah, for me, it's a quasi humoresque.
No, not the character.
Okay.
The technique of composition. A composer use not to write it because the beat, the heart is beating like this and then he's writing. He's writing with a project, which is the compositional project.
Is the differences? I mean, is minor.
What is developed in this variation?
Is the minor the
First the
one.
minor. Very good answer.
The fourth in the piano. You have the
Yes.
development of pa, 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 theta, theta.
Is that?
Yeah.
Before we talk about rhythmical things, bam, 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 bam. This is a variation, maybe thought that, okay, I write a series of 8 bar of ostinato like this.
Yeah.
This is a second ostinato variation made by 3 notes,
Yeah.
tan, ta, tan, not 4.
Yeah.
Because then he develops this ta-ra-ra-ra-ra. At the beginning we have that. In fact, if we listen tira, in a way, composition of things is a mistake. It's better to have ta-ra-ra,
Yeah.
ta-ra-ra, and then bar 2. Tira tara 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 tara. 8 bars like this. Strings. Tararam ti. Oboe. Tararam tiriri tararam. Bridge. Tarara tarirari. Of course, this is in background, but as a compositional technique is developed. Tararara. You have all the time the motto until the end. Tararam, piririri, tararam.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to take this kind of style of composition, technique of composition, and to transform in a musical thing.
Yeah.
This is the analysis is important. Okay, go. Work on the first 8 bars.
Yeah. I would say that the first bar, the most important that we hear the woodwinds and less of the strings, and then in the clarinet bassoon, that we could have more bassoons to balance the clarinets.
Tutti again.
Tutti again. Yes, thank you. And also that he writes the dot on the 8th note, so I think it emphasizes this ta-ri-pam, that we hear the articulation on the 3rd note.
Said doing good things, but for me they are play at an equal forte. The same forte of the string is the forte of them. And if you want to listen, ta-ra-ram, which is also not the motto that it would be developed through the variation, but is also the motto of the head of the thema. Pam, pa, pam, pam, param. So the first time we have a connection, a rhythmical connection with the first 3 notes of the thema.
The chorale,
The chorale. To my opinion, they have to play much less, the horns, the trumpet, accent in the mezzoforte, but not more. And also this, not para, because they play an accent. The strings could play a warning forte, a red alarm forte, and let them to play pararam, clear. Second things, ta ti ta 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 ti ta ta. Character is perfect. 30% less.
Yeah.
In background, you have to see ta ra 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 ra, ti, 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 like a color,
Yeah.
and not a line which belongs so so important way for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Accompagnamento.
Yeah.
No accent every 6 bars.
Yeah.
I just okay. I see. No. Right, but be careful because you conduct the musical period like this. We start like this. You are just push. No, it's bam.
Yeah.
The house starts from this
Yeah.
wall.
Okay.
Up. See, they lost. They are not encouraged to finish the phrase.
Yeah, I was.
Listen
hoping
just
to-
a bassoon and clarinet. Bar 2. There is an accent.
Yeah.
Ma taram in the memory, no? When we are walking in the street. Taram tarara ti 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 ti. No. Taram ti ra 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 ti 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 is there.
Yeah.
But it's not the melody. Taram tarara ti 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 ti
Yep.
ti. Because then we conduct in a way a sort of not clear.
Yeah. What is the?
It's too loud.
Yeah.
It's too present. There is too much personality in the strings. Basta. It's clear, no?
Yeah.
Go on. Molto bene.
Yes.
Now,
This no.
this is,
Yeah.
no, this is not a theme, but a structural in the composition. It's a develop of that. But in this time, this case, this is the background of this. So, pararam, taririri, da, 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 da. This is arpeggio, and this melody is very important. Tararari. But still, we must listen in the background the motto that Brahms has chosen as DNA of the variation. So, tararam, tiriri, tararam, tarara, pararara. Piano, but clear.
Yeah.
Careful, that is. Taririri. I think that, my friends, 69, 70, 71, second violin viola has a crescendo, and 72, cello and double bass, piano crescendo. The last note should be not less than mezzo forte. And we have to start, Brahms didn't mark that, mezzo forte before the pianissimo. The same color of them. Let's try the strings.
Yeah.
One.
69, please. Only strings?
Ah, so nice. Okay,
16.
just that.
Yeah.
Sounds. Yeah. Bravo.
Yeah.
Once more again, please. Conduct clear because they're not playing together.
Yeah.
That's it. Va bene?
Yep.
Okay, and now put together with the tema the motto, rhythmical motto. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you very much.
Bravo. I think you need a tire, no? Like this? More? If I want, I sustain for you. Yes, you are so tall. I don't know.
think that can work.
Like this?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
If you want it lower.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. And there's my
Roderick.
Hi, everyone. Should I just continue or just...
Sure,
I
sure. Good idea.
start at the
Good.
beginning.
The orchestra is happy. Continue.
Just continue, okay. Let's just start with variation 3. Let's go back to the very beginning. If I could just have more first oboe, well, actually everyone else a little less, and allow first oboe and bassoon to lead at the very beginning. And also, even though it's pianissimo and legato, still this very warm sound and sostenuto, where it's not rushed, but every note just really, really still singing ever so slightly. Okay.
I was looking for my oboe.
Okay. Just very simple, very easy. It still sounds like the first quarter we're too interested in the second beat, and give it time. Da, dee, da. Okay. Yes, and well, in the fourth bar, I feel the music comes back ever so slightly.
You know why they didn't ask for you?
Why?
No, I want to say because they don't like. No.
Don't. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I think they. So. Because use your left hand without a real purpose.
Okay.
Shall I?
Yep. Sure.
Shall I don't want to imitate. I show you. Look. Try to look yourself.
Okay.
What kind of indication has?
Yes.
Loudness of the amplifier, or but you are very musical because you feel that you have in front of you a super sensitive orchestra.
So a little less.
If you use your left hand or to improvise something, you have to communicate in advance, or to be really
A little ahead of.
yeah. And he used it. Otherwise, the oboe player said, "But all this gesture, what he wants from me, I don't understand whether it's the key point of the phrase or that." If, of course, he's playing legato. It's not that because you are doing like this. He plays legato. He plays legato.
Okay.
Simple. Good. Bravo. Yeah, I understand what you want, Roderick. I understand what you want musically. So you want that because you want this. Okay, but you have to pass the information better. And passing the better information, avoid to stop. Sorry. Thank you, Alexei. Grazie. Okay?
Yes.
I call the piano why they play forte. I let them play forte. And then I prepare the new color for the piano. And not conduct the forte with them and then in the same moment we do the piano. I
We
call
just need to be a
next
little bit
day
ahead.
there's a piano, you know?
Yes.
Try. Yes. Sure. Bravo. Va bene. Roderick. Bene. Now I think it's more natural for you. Musical talking. Character of the variation.
I feel is
No, character.
Oh, character.
As we prefer.
Relaxing, pastoral.
No, sorry.
am I-
Okay, I made a mistake. No, the characteristic of composition, technique of that.
The technique of the composition.
The technique of the variation composition. What is
It's more
developed?
the-
What
the
is
slow,
developed?
lyrical.
Lyrical? Because it was not lyrical. Was also lyrical.
Yes.
Instead, we understood that the characteristic was bang, 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 bang. And then the second variation on ti da do da di da da. What is the characteristic of this?
Wistful.
Mhm.
A little bit more.
My vocabulary is a little bit short. What?
Maybe I'm not understanding what exactly you're asking me. The character of this variation is
The characteristic, the technical the composition characteristic, not the character. The character is commoto, but what is? What is? Is the regularity of 4 notes in the bar. We have 4 notes since the beginning, from the beginning to the end.
yes.
Ti ra 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 ri is a motu perpetuum of that. There is no one crotchet in the first 9 bars.
Yeah.
Now he marks commoto. And the commoto is also in the da ra ra ri ra 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 ri ra 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 ri ra 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 ra. The technique is to have 8 notes, ti ra 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 ri, and less. And also in the flute and the bassoon, 8 notes, ta ra ra ri ra 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 ri ra ri ra ri ra ri ra ri, which is a variation of the variation. And he puts commoto, and you start a tempo that, for my opinion, which I respect the tempo, has everything but no motto.
Yeah. Okay.
If you play the 2 flutes, please, and the bassoon, tati tati, with Roderick tempo. 1, 2, ah. Now with another tempo. The feeling is that the first example was da ri ri da da ra ra ri da ra ra ra. Seems that I try to walk after 1 month of staying in the bed, and my muscles are like this. And also for the strings, beginning. Roderick tempo.
Was I that slow?
It's the tempo that you asked to the oboe.
Yeah, well, maybe I've slowed down just ever so slightly.
You repeat
but
fourth time, eh?
I mean, it's con moto, but I guess I'm really thinking that still it's creating more difference than the variation before, which is
Accidenti.
Tudo
Taram, tirararara, tarariririririririririririririri. It's more than double less.
Voce. Yeah. I can try it faster. Probably.
No.
Yes.
I want to be a little bit evil with you.
Yes, of course.
So what means commoto, and to understand the deep significance of commoto. Otherwise, it was easy for him to put crotchet 76.
Yeah.
No question.
I guess I feel like I'm trying to figure out a way of not making it feel like the notes are being. Maybe I'm savoring
try
it
to
too
make
much,
a step.
perhaps.
Try to make a step forward
Yeah.
in the study of a score like this. In the study of a score like this, you have variation of a thema, but different character for every variation. And Brahms is helping, in this case, to say commoto, commoto, and you have the motto is there already written. So in a way, the tempo speaks itself. Oboe solo, s'il vous plaît. Tirara. Don't you think that the music in this tempo is
better,
natural? Also, the line, the melodical lines, has its natural habit.
Yeah.
Don't go against that. I mean, don't be odd. Follow the natural spirit of this theme.
Okay.
And I tell you one more thing. If there was not written commoto, probably we could understand the tempo just to see the notes, how many harmonies change in one bar. If in one bar is a B flat major, and then in the third bar we have 3 different harmonies, we need time to understand the modulation, but maybe it's not so complex.
Yeah.
So, and the commoto is also said because you see the line. The note itself brings its legacy of tempo. To my opinion, when you start with them, It was andante.
And we don't want andante.
Exactly.
Okay.
But what we want?
Con molto.
What Brahms
Yes.
tried to say to us. Let's go. You did the diminuendo,
Well,
and Emily played a crescendo.
Yes, yes. I guess what I was trying to go for there was.
Do you feel it's too fast for you?
It does conflict with my inner
Okay.
motion, just a little bit.
As I said, I just wanted to see how do I arrive to choose a tempo.
Yes.
Not just from
Yes,
here,
of course.
but a lot from here. And you know why? Because when you are woke up next day, your heart is beating different. And maybe you arrive to the rehearsal and you scrap your car, or the stocks that you bought go down, and then you are much more tense. Yeah. Instead, if you work with the brain, you can control the heart.
Yes, I guess with this ostinato and these eighth notes, I think this sense of walking tempo, strolling along,
and they rush
easy.
the tempo. You think a bit?
Not well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there is don't be shy. Don't be shy. Tell you what do you think. So maybe before was too slow. Now probably is too quick. And just a good mix.
And especially here at B, I feel like there should be a little bit more time for horn, for this dialogue between horn and clarinet.
Okay, okay. B, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 before B.
Okay.
4 before B. As a character, me personally, I say when I find a metronome is an indication of a supposed speediness. But then, if you decided that and you write that this 4-bar needs time, take the time. You are not forced to say, how can I resolve after 40 bars from the beginning that bar because I want to do it.
Okay.
It's not a rule that if we play ta 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 ta-ra-ri-ri-ri-ri-ra-ra, ta-ra-ri-ri-ra, you can play ta 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 tam tam tam. The second tema could have his character with the metronome a bit slower. If it's fit in the music, you consider this piece played by a pianist. Consider a piano sonata. A piano sonata and the sonata form played by a pianist. The pianist takes time, because of course it's just a monocolor instrument, but takes time. The first thema, the second thema has a different. Why not to do in the symphonic repertoire? It seems that when we have an orchestra, we must go in tempo, my God, then don't change absolutely one bit. This, you're right, we need time, it's a bridge. Take time.
Okay.
You're right.
Let's start 4 before B. 4 before B.
Tempo primo. Don't push the tempo, don't push. You can also do a cadenza if you want. Don't push too much the difference of the two tempi. Bene, Roderick, you see? And now you test that the two tempi that you use are under control, because when return the tempo primo, you have to say, well, tempo primo, but don't exaggerate. Otherwise, every tempo primo that returns is faster and faster. I wanted just to pass to you this hint that the oboe, when he played slower on under tempo, is less convincing than when he plays in this tempo. But he's a great professional. He can also come to you and to offer to you, but it's changed for me the meaning of the music. Consider tan ta tan 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 tan, no? Exhibition of the thema. Boom, boom, a little bit faster. Boom, 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 a little bit faster. Now it's not slower. The motto is continuous. Next variation. No? Fourth. No?
Well,
am I wrong?
no. Yes.
Yes, I'm completely wrong. It means that probably we have. Sorry. It's true. The fourth is this one. Then we have chorale, moderato, più vivace, con moto, under tempo, quasi adagio, no? Scherzo, vivace, più presto, not più presto because it's quicker, because instead of 6 notes we have 8 notes. Then calmo, peaceful, yam, pa pam pam, and then the last before, misterioso, which is a sort of, this, for my opinion, is the path through the history of the variation, not just one after one. There is a history. One, the second, the third. Why the third is slower and minor, then again 2, 3 major, and then another minor, and then the bright finale. So for this reason, you think rightly, but it's too much connected at what it says to you this, rather to have a project in mind for the all variations. And as I said before, all variation has its own DNA. If it's not clear for the audience which is the DNA, work a bit now to balance with the orchestra. I'm sorry, I talk too much. I'm so sorry.
Or shall we?
No, well, up to you. You have 6 minutes.
Could we start at B again, please? And 4 bars after B, the 5th bar of B, let's just make sure, I'd love for horn 3 to lead this and a little less oboe. And also, bassoon and horn 3 at B. The 1st and 2nd bar maybe a little less as well. This is B. B.
Benissimo, Roderick. As I said before, now your left hand is going better.
I'm doing a lot of stuff with it, right?
No, it's getting better. But if you do not have any result, if you don't want to, why to use too much?
Yeah.
Why go exactly in the mirror? So, plan, flat. And just indicate one use of the left. If you don't want to pass any message, don't use the left like this, because in a way you pass a message of legato, but they already play legato. They don't need to have honey on the sugar. No?
Yes.
It's already sugar, so don't put honey.
Too much honey.
Or effective. What? Are you diabetic? Sorry.
Same place, please.
Excuse me. Bravo. Bravo. Yeah, Roderick, but you repeat it three times until the end.
I'm still not getting some.
But if you are not obtaining what you want,
yes,
stop
four
it.
after B. Oboe, I really love for clarinet 1 to be more present here, and you sort of be decoration around that. So just a little less, and clarinet 1 lead. This is 4 after C.
Yeah, and I have a question.
Yes.
Is it exactly what's happened here?
Yes.
Why we play an under tempo here and we are playing in tempo there?
There's no excellent reason for that. We should probably be in the same tempo.
The viola is suffering. Because the 4 bar that you are playing are exactly the 4 bar that was played before by a horn and the woodwind sprayer. And when I conducted and you said, oh, yes. I arrived and I stopped the tempo and I returned to tempo and you did it the same. So you did it here and not here. And the viola passage is just put through. There is no reason about that. It seems that he wants just to write.
Okay, let's maybe three before C, please.
Bravo. Bravissimo. Bravo, Rodrigo. Molto bene. Bravo. Bravo. Thank you very much. Grazie mille for this morning. Grazie. Bravissimi. All the solo players. Yes.
Thank you, Roderick Cox and Nuno Coelho. Thank you, Maestro and Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra for facilitating, making it possible, these masterclasses this week. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock sharp, Amsterdam local time, the next session. And the third session is Thursday morning, and we start a half hour earlier, 9:30. Have fun until tomorrow. Thank you so much. It is so inspiring. It is so inspiring.